Hello everyone. I've decided today to actually try out WoW again because Blizzard sent me 1 week for free time, so I haven't paid. I'm not going to pay for WoW anymore. I was here for 8 years. I just wanted to really share my experience of coming back to WoW after A Realm Reborn. I am playing the game on the Ultra setting, you know, so 1080p Ultra. So this is as good as the graphics are going to get, let's say. And you look at these textures down here. To me, they just look like a blur when you compare them to 14. And when you think about that, the fact that in 14 they haven't even released the DirectX 11 client yet, so it's going to be even better. So it's dated and so on. So, but you know, it does seem to be a fun game. I mean, there's plenty of things to do. WoW, obviously, people know, so I don't need to teach anyone about how great WoW is. But at the same time, it's old. It's an old game. It's time for people to move on. So I'm gonna just be around here for the week, just for the sake of it. I have no intention on resubscribing. I even find Diablo more fun than this. What I'm doing as well, for the sake of it, is I'm checking out the dungeon which I've missed, because I've never done any raid after the Throne of Thunder since quitting WoW. So I'm just checking out for the sake of the story, and yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. My DPS rotation is probably extremely rubbish. The things to know, obviously, the difference between WoW and 14 is that you can see here on my action bars, the global cooldown is like 1 second, whereas in 14 it's like, I don't know, 2.5 or something. So that the spamming buttons is a lot more intense in this game. But then again, in 14 we do have button weaving, you know, which is you hit one button and then in between the global cooldown you can hit other buttons which are not the global cooldown. So the hit rate is not that much slower when you can weave as many abilities as possible. And yeah, so it's been a very weird experience for me to come back to this game after so long and check it out. If I really wanted to say which game is better, then yeah, I really think that at this point Final Fantasy 14 is better, just because of its potential. It's a brand new MMO really. If you ignore 1.0 and look at how A Realm Reborn is as a new game, it has way more potential at the beginning than this game did. So we will see what the future brings. You know, but I can understand why lots of people are still playing this game though, because they're so invested in the game. You know, they've been playing this game for years and years and years and years and years. Like, I was talking to one of my friends in WoW yesterday who still plays the game, and she was explaining to me, like, we worked it out that, you know, we met like 7 years ago. So it shows how quickly the time has passed, that's for sure. And you know, I really will try and say to WoW players out there that, you know, it might be difficult, but try other games, see what else is out there. You know, games have moved on from this a long time ago. I might check out Warlords of Draenor, but even then I'm not sure. I still have to wait and see. It is interesting coming back though, because I spent 8 years in WoW myself, but I want to try and show people as well that it is possible to let it go, you know what I mean? It's that's the thing about this game, is that, you know, when you find that there's something else out there, something better, then you can really you know, just move on with your life and do other things, play other games, see how the technology has moved on. The next generation is the way to go. You know, check out PlayStation 4, check out Xbox One. That's it. So for me, you know, WoW was finished for me like more than a year ago, but even then, this is sort of reconfirmation for me that this game is done, essentially. And, you know, Blizzard know it themselves. You know, that's why they've already said that Warlords of Draenor is the last expansion for WoW. It's obvious because it is such a dated game. I don't think at this point they would ever invest money or time in like redeveloping the graphics engine, making it next gen. There's absolutely no point. They might as well just make a new game. So yeah, So I don't want this to be a WoW bashing video. It really isn't. WoW is an amazing game. It has been for a very, very long time. That's why it has been the leader of MMOs for such a long time. It has set the benchmark for other MMOs that have always tried to copy and adhere to. And they made a lot of mistakes along the way. They've learned from them, and as a benefit to the MMO industry, if you want to call it that, they've allowed other people to avoid those mistakes before they even put the game to launch. But like I said, that's it. It's the past. It's like you can't say, for example, that the person who invented the first chair, everyone should only sit on the first chair ever made. You know what I mean? Things have moved on. We have more fancy things now. So yeah. So now. The thing for me as well with this game is that I think the thing that really is important in any MMO is that you make sure that you make friends, meet people, say hello, talk to people. Because I was in WoW for 8 years and I can count the number of friends I made on one hand. You know what I mean? So imagine in 8 years the small amount of social interaction I had with people. Whereas in 14, I've got hundreds of friends, loads of people, and then since I have my YouTube channel now, I've met a lot more people as well, and so on. So when you play, if you choose to ever play an MMO, make sure you meet people. It is so important because it's for the people you play this game, not for just the content, because they will always release more content, they will always release more things for you to do. So do not think, oh, I've done the content, that's it, the game finished. It's like, no, you are doing things with the other players and so on, and interacting, getting to know people's life stories. And the benefit as well of playing games online is basically that you can hide part of yourself, you know what I mean? Because the people you're talking to online, chances are you'll never meet them. It's very rare for you that will cross your path. So you can be more honest with them about your feelings, about sharing your life experience and so on. Getting random advice, you never know. People's advice in an online game can be very useful to you because they will say things to you completely out of judgment and so on. They don't have, they're not friends with anyone in your personal life who they might take sides with or anything like that. They'll just give you a straight to the point, honest opinion about what you can do. I'm not saying obviously that this is the way for all people in online games, because obviously there's a lot of trolls in online games as well. But you learn to who are good, who are bad, and you keep the ones that are nice close to you, and you keep the trolls away from you almost immediately. So that's not really a problem. So yeah, now. This is what I'm doing here is some random raid. I don't even know what it's called. Let me quickly check. It's called the Veil of Eternal Sorrows, which is sort of like a pre-raid towards the next raids, which is like Siege of Orgrimmar. And I mean, this content, like I said, is very, very old. I'm making this video purely as a, discussion video, really, of the experience and the feeling of coming back to WoW after so long. And no one can ever say to me that I didn't take WoW seriously. I took it extremely seriously back in the day. Like, if you look at my achievements, you can see here 18,000 points. So I did spend a lot of time in this game doing a lot of things. You can see my character's title on Mithrie is the Insane, and I got this pre-nerf, so I got it back in its hardest original form, whereas now it's a bit easier to get, but it is a very grindy, you have to dedicate many hours to get these sort of titles. If you look at my reputation tab, you can see here exalted, which is the maximum rank with pretty much nearly everything in the game, so I really did spend my time on this game. I always like to play these games 110%. And my other advice as well when it comes to playing MMOs is that do not just make many characters and and they all become mediocre. Just try and pick one character and just make it awesome. That was advice given to me years and years ago as well. Because in a game like WoW, you can only play one class per character. So just pick one that you like and just stick to it. And the reason I picked Paladin, for example, is because of the fact that you can change from tank to DPS to healer freely here. So you can be holy, you can be protection, you can be retribution. So it gave me the diversity that I was missing, because prior to WoW I was playing Final Fantasy 11, which allows you to be every class on the same character, which is also the same in Final Fantasy 14 around Reborn. So I always loved that aspect of Final Fantasy 11, which is something that allowed me to pick Paladin to stick with the most anyway. I do have a level 90 Hunter, but that was really just for fun more than anything else. And because I always like the bow and arrow, which as you can see, I am also playing Bard in WoW as well. So, sorry, I'm playing Bard in Final Fantasy 14 as well. So, yeah, so, like I say, I just wanted to make this video to share my feelings about coming back to this, checking out this game. I do appreciate Blizzard for giving out this sort of free game time to sort of tempt people back in and stuff. It is fun to reconnect with a couple of old friends, but like I said, I can count my old friends in this game with one hand, and I always had other means of contact with them anyway, you know, via, you know, Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. So, you know, that was never really a problem for me. So just wanted to share and show my history of MMO gaming, let's say. I was in WoW for 8 years of my life, if you want to believe, and the time has gone by so quickly, but that's life, isn't it? Life is going by quickly. And so before WoW I was playing Final Fantasy 11 as well, and before even Final Fantasy 11, and we're talking more than 10 years now, I was playing first-person shoot-em-ups. So there's now more years of my life where I've been playing online games than there isn't, because I started playing online games when I was 14, back in the 56k dial-up modem days, when if you had a latency of like 300 and something, you'd be extremely happy with that, you know. Whereas these days, you know, with your fiber optics and stuff, your latency is like 5 or something. So you know, times have moved on, technology has moved on, games are moving on. So yeah, WoW is the first and the great MMO, but it's time for people to move on, in my opinion. Just try new things, try new games, try the next generation. And a lot of the new games these days as well are moving towards, you know, so they are single player games that have online elements, you know, so they will just have co-op modes online, they will have, you know, their own multiplayer games and so on. So, you know, please try other things as well. And you know, it's just, I don't know, I think that I've been blabbering for a while. I just really wanted to explain my feelings towards this game. It's sort of almost like a final chapter for me, that yes, this is 8 years of my life that I can finally draw to a close. It's like, you know, I did enjoy my time here, so thank you Blizzard, thank you very much for making such an awesome MMO. Times are now moving on. I am still loving Diablo 3, to be honest. I think that's an awesome game as well, because I do love the grindy stuff, but I haven't picked up a copy of the expansion yet, because I've just had too many other things to do right now. I have been thinking about picking up a copy of the Diablo 3 expansion, but I might just wait for patch 2.1 before I bother. You know, it's also the reason why right now I haven't even picked up a copy of like Watch Dogs or Infamous Second Son, like all these games that I really, really want to play, because you know, I'm just taking my time with it, you know. I think it's a good thing, because for example, whenever they release a brand new console like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One or anything like that, they always, like, the first version of it has any bugs and so on, and then they improve it, you know. That's just how it is. So they will improve the game as time goes on. They will make the system use less power and be more powerful and be cheaper and give you game bundles and blah blah blah. So I'm never the sort to rush into buying something brand new. The only thing I really was in a rush to buy was A Realm Reborn, because it's such an awesome game, but that's only because I did spend a good amount of time in the beta phases really trying everything in the game, you know, really pushing the beta to its absolute limit. And for that reason, that's why I will stick to A Realm Reborn for the time being. I will try and make Let's Plays of other games, you know, sure, it's like, why not? Yeah, so anyway, that's the end of this rant video. It's also the reason why I said let's play WoW ? In the thumbnail of this video, because you know, I really just, I won't be coming back to WoW, that's it. I've now, you know, moved on. So like I said, I am just seeing that, I'm just doing this for lols, just for old time's sake. And maybe, like I said, maybe check out the expansion, but I really don't know if I will bother. So yeah. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and even true in this case, goodbye from Mithrie. So goodbye.